Well, good morning, and welcome to Middle-Aged Running Man. Now, this is a particularly good place to stop because this is the scene of my first ever job as a spunky 16-year-old. I work there, the Malt Shovel at Barston. I'm a keen drinker, however, I'm not very good at it. I cannot, being a slightly smaller character, consume large quantities. And however much practice I've put in over the years, 2 or 3 pints, if I'm quite honest with you, will see me slightly giddy. And I will stay annoyingly giddy for the entirety of the evening before I start to get confused, dizzy, disappear to the toilets for significant and prolonged periods of time before my old party trick, which was leaving without saying anything to anybody. Done that for years. I got, last year, significantly faster at running. The significant thing that improved my running was I lost weight, and that was it. I'm not a very big guy, but I was probably about 12 and a half stone, if I'm being really honest. I just liked red wine and cheese, and lots of it, and bread. I still love a bloomer with a bit of Lurpak and some sharp cheese, maybe a bit of French onion. There's 3 or 4 videos at the start of last year when my lovely friend Sophie, who took me through Slimming World, and I lost nearly, I think, 2 stone. I ate a bit more sensibly, and the times fell. I had only gone sub 130 once in my whole career. Last year, having lost that weight, every single road half marathon I did in under 130. If I got 130 or above now, I'd know that there was an issue. My record is 1 hour 23, which I'm really proud of. So, another white van man. I swear to God, if I get kidnapped, assaulted, you've probably got, any detective worth their salt would be able to piece the whole lot together. I mean, that's a ludicrous comment, because to be honest, you've just seen his number plate, and it'd probably be on video him throwing me in the back of a car and putting chloroform on my face before taking me to one of these empty barns and doing something awful. There he is. The murderer has managed to get through. Right, I'm going to try. Oh, look! How beautiful. Oh, let's do a bit here. Used to fish down here as a boy. Like, genuinely, I'm not a lie. Just fill my bucket and do a bit of fishing. Bullfish. No, I am telling the truth. It's bullfish. We all know, I would imagine you all know, you don't need me to tell you that as an athlete, right, alcohol does have a massively detrimental effect to your performance, right? What you're basically talking about is the fact that the alcohol stops your food being digested and turning itself into energy, and also there's the dehydration aspects. There's all sorts of things. It completely damages your recovery, and if you drink the night before a race, you are going to struggle. So I've got a decision to make, really, and it's about this time of year where it comes up to my birthday. My best mate has got the same birthday as me, so we always do something. I go away every year with 2 of my mates. It's called the Johnny Boys outing, and we go away every year. It's quite sedate. We go to places like Stow-on-the-Wold or Cambridge, but it usually revolves around drinking. And actually last year it was hammering it down, and I didn't take the dog. The dog is the breakwater. Right, if I take the dog, take Sam, what that basically means is that we have to walk, which breaks things up a bit. Without Sam last year, we were left with little option than to spend all day in a working man's club, and then at 7 o'clock to try and find a reason to stay awake. Great story from Woodstock this year though. We finished at this working man's club and only been there an hour, watched Man City Leeds went down. If I'm being really honest, I was dizzy after the first 2, and then we went to this posh wine bar, and my mate, a bit of a connoisseur, a fever tree tosser, decided that he was going to buy us these gin and tonics. So I said, oh, you know, chuck us a Gordon's and a Schweppes, I'm not bothered. No. You don't want that, you don't want that. So he ordered, he was chatting the woman up about the gin and what mixer she'd recommend and whether or not she should put juniper berries in it or whatever it was. And served us these 3 drinks. £53. I was almost beside myself with excitement, just looking at his face, trying to carry off the news as if it was something he expected. He nearly vomited. I did actually vomit the thing though, which adds insult to injury really. So I've got a decision to make. Am I ever going to drink again? Do I want to never drink again? Am I basically saying that I've got such an issue with alcohol that I don't want to ever drink again? I'm not sure I am. I'm not sure I'm finished with it, to be honest. But equally I don't want to. And I do think I need to experience the fact of whether I can have a good night without drinking. Before I shot this video earlier, I was thinking, have I ever gone on a night out, ever, without drinking? And the answer is no. I have never been the designated driver. If there's been drinking involved, I've always been drinking. Always. Never volunteered to drive anybody. And what's that all about? Is that because I believe that I can only enjoy myself, that I can only be entertaining to others if I've had a drink inside me? Very, very, very odd. I was reading this book by Adrian Chiles and it's called The Good Drinker. And it's really interesting because he talks about if you lined up all the drinks you've ever had, how many of them would actually be good drinks? And by that what he means is drinks that you've genuinely enjoyed having. And I would suggest probably about 2/8 have been good drinks for me. But would I trade all this for drinking? Yes. You think a day out at National Trust is going to take away the raw excitement of going to the Dome? No way. But this is good. You got to grow up sometime, haven't you? Hey! Don't know who that was. So, in the bleak midwinter, when the red wine is being quaffed, could be a carol. Let's say, I don't know, I've got a co-op next to me, let's say £6.99 a bottle. Alright, let's say that, shall we? And let's say I'm getting 3 bottles. I'm lying to myself. Let's say we're getting 4 bottles in. And I'll tell you what, let's round down the quality of the wine. Let's say £25 a week. Alright, just on empty calories, just on red wine, just on poor night's sleep, bad breath, which is an issue I still haven't conquered, and a hot face in the morning. Let's say that, what a bargain. All right, £25 a week, that's £100 a month. Now, if I'm being really honest, I am yet to see the fruit of my financial labours, because all I'm actually doing is swapping one addiction for another. Like, you know, like years ago, you could go out with 20 or 30 quid, couldn't you? And you could probably have a relatively decent night and it'd be fine, you know? I genuinely think if you go out in a group of 5 or 6, you're gonna need at least 100 quid. Right, 2 rounds of drinks. A round of drinks is 50 quid, at the very least, these days. And that's before anyone starts poncing around with gin and juniper bloody tonic. Throw in some bar snacks and some nibbles, and you've done a lot. We haven't even talked about taxis. We haven't even talked about bravado entries into nightclubs that you never really wanted to go into. God, the amount of times I've chased the night. You know, it's a crap night and you just think the longer I stay out, the better it's going to get. And before long, you're stood on your own on a dance floor at 2 o'clock in the morning with Martine McCutcheon's "This Is My Moment" blaring out from the DJ. The loneliest place in the world, let me tell you. For some people, not for me, obviously. Marmers, I am genuinely interested to hear from you at this point. Are you like me? Are you on the wagon? Are you someone who could never go on the wagon? Are you someone who believes that life's too short to kind of deprive yourselves of these small pleasures? What's your favourite post-race drink? Do you normally earn those calories and throw down a couple of pints of IPA. Oh God, good pub this one. This one in 1993 would still serve underage kids. It was brilliant. And they sold Fosters, which I loved at the time. Wouldn't give my dog Fosters now, to be honest with you. So, just finished a half marathon this morning and felt good. But I've just walked past, it's lunchtime, a lovely little place. It's called the Ale Hub, right, where they serve ale, funnily enough. And whilst I looked yearningly in through the window, equally the shop next door sold me one of these. And to be honest, if I keep asking myself the question, should I start drinking again? Really, I suppose the question really should be, why would I stop not drinking again, if that makes sense? You know, what's so bad about what I'm actually doing at the moment? And there is nothing bad with it at all. So I guess this is me talking myself into it for just that little bit longer. Now, I've got my Jolly Boys outing coming up in a couple of months. I've got my birthday, I've got my trip to Oxford, where I always like to go and have a drink with my friends. But for now, I'm putting my other addiction first, and it's my running addiction. So don't panic. I'll see you next week. Nothing in this, by the way. Just a prop. I found it near a bin.